Commander Velnari's feathers drooped as she read the Galactic Council's response to her desperate plea for reinforcements. The Thrax horde was only 3 days away from overrunning Kepler Station, and the Council had sent humans? 5 soldiers, she chirped in disbelief to her aide. The Council sent us 5 soldiers against 10,000 Thrax warriors? They call themselves Marines, Commander, her aide corrected nervously. From something called the United States Marine Corps. Their ship just docked. Velnari's 3 hearts sank. Everyone knew humans came from a death world, a planet so hostile that most species couldn't survive an hour on its surface. But Deathworlders were notoriously fragile in normal environments. The gravity here would probably crush them, or the atmosphere would poison them, or... Commander Velnari? A voice like controlled thunder made her jump. 5 figures stood in her doorway, each wearing strange segmented armor. The leader removed his helmet, revealing a scarred face with predator eyes. Staff Sergeant Martinez, USMC. We heard you folks needed help with a pest problem. Pest problem? Velnari's translator struggled with the term. The Thrax horde is the most feared military force in 3 sectors. They've conquered 17 systems. Martinez grinned, an expression that made Velnari instinctively step back. Ma'am, we come from a world where the wildlife tries to eat you, the weather tries to kill you, and the gravity makes your bones dense as stone. We've been fighting each other and everything else for 200,000 years. These Thrax boys sound like a good warm-up. Velnari watched in horrified fascination as the Marines surveyed the station's defenses. Where her soldiers saw insurmountable odds, the humans saw opportunities. Thermal imaging shows they're massing here, here, and here, Corporal Thompson noted, marking positions. Classic encirclement. Boring. Boring? Velnari squeaked. No creativity, Lance Corporal Washington explained. On Earth, we call this Tuesday. Now, your station's built into an asteroid, right? What's the composition? Mostly iron and nickel with veins of Velnari began. Perfect. Johnson, remember that thing we did on Titan? The gravity slingshot? That was sick. Velnari listened as they planned, using terms like force multiplication, guerrilla tactics, and psychological warfare. They spoke casually about utilizing the station's own systems as weapons, about turning the asteroid field into a maze of death, about using the Thrax's own numbers against them. When the Thrax arrived, Velnari expected the humans to take defensive positions. Instead, Martinez smiled. Time to introduce these boys to human warfare. Washington, play the music. Music? Velnari asked. Thunderous percussion and screaming guitars filled every communication channel. The humans called it metal, and the Thrax hesitated, confused by the audio assault. That hesitation cost them. The Marines had turned the outer asteroids into improvised kinetic weapons, using the station's mining equipment to create a deadly debris field. They'd rigged the station's lights to strobe at a frequency that disoriented Thrax vision. They'd even reversed the airflow in certain sectors, creating vacuum traps. But it was the Marines themselves that truly terrified the Thrax. They moved through the battlefield like apex predators, using tactics that seemed insane to civilized species. They threw themselves from asteroids in zero-G ambushes. They used controlled decompression as propulsion. One Marine, Rodriguez, actually rode a piece of debris into an enemy formation while firing 2 weapons and laughing. They're retreating. Velnari's aide announced in shock as the Thrax fleet began to pull back. Martinez shrugged. Told you it was just a pest problem. He activated his comm. Hey, Washington, tell the Thrax commander if he comes back, we'll introduce him to Chicago-style negotiations. Later, as the Marines prepared to leave, Velnari asked, How? How did 5 of you defeat 10,000? Martinez grew serious. Commander, humans don't fight fair. We fight to win. We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every day, so we learned to be more creative, more stubborn, and more dangerous than anything we faced. Your council didn't just send you soldiers. They sent you Deathworlders. And ma'am. He grinned again. You haven't seen anything yet. This was us being nice. As their ship departed, Velnari heard them arguing about whether the next assignment would be more fun. She shuddered, grateful they were on her side.